Edwards had been taken into police custody after the shooting death of his fiancée, Amanda Williams, Monday night.
I just can't stomach the fact that I have to live the rest of my life without my mom. My daughter has to live the rest of her life without her grandma because a coward wanted to take her life. My mom did not deserve this at all.
She was shot 6 times in her own bedroom by the man who was supposed to marry her. And when her daughter came running up the stairs to help her dying mother, he locked the door and kept her out. This is the story of Amanda Williams. And before we're done, I want you to think about one thing. How does someone live with another person for years, smile on their face every day, and still pull that trigger? If this kind of story matters to you, and I believe it does, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to Crime Files, and click the bell so you never miss an episode. These stories deserve to be told, and your support is what keeps this channel going. Now, let's talk about Amanda. Amanda Williams was born on April 18, 1977, in Cleveland, Ohio. And from early on, it was clear she was not someone who was going to sit on the sidelines of life. She was sharp, she was driven, and she had a vision for herself that most people only dream about. She became a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, one of the most respected black sororities in the country, known for producing leaders, scholars, and women of service. Amanda embodied everything that sisterhood stood for. She built her own business. She called herself Amanda the Stylist, and she owned a mode style salon. For anyone who has ever been to a good hair salon, you know it is more than just a place you get your hair done. It is community. It is conversation. It is a safe space. And Amanda created that. People came to her not just for her style, but because being around her felt good. A counselor who worked upstairs from her salon said he used to come downstairs just to check on his friend. Her colleagues described her as someone who lit up every room she walked into. She was also a mother. She had a son, Tristan Bentley, who was 21 at the time of her death and had enrolled in the U.S. Air Force Academy, partly because of his mother's influence and encouragement, and she was already a grandmother. Her daughter, Tyler, 29, lived in the same house as Amanda, along with Tyler's own young daughter. So this was not a quiet, empty house. This was a full, living, breathing family home. And into that home, Amanda had welcomed a man named Tirrell Edwards. They started dating in 2017. By 2019, Edwards had moved into Amanda's house, her house, the one she owned, the one she built. In 2022, he proposed. They got engaged. They were even going through premarital counseling together. On the surface, things looked like they were heading somewhere good. But here's what the surface does not show you. People close to Amanda, people who loved her, say this relationship was not what it looked like from the outside. Her pastor, Dr. R.A. Vernon of the Word Church, would later stand before cameras and say flat out that there was a clear pattern of abuse and manipulation in that house. And he did not just say it with words. He came with evidence, photos of bruises, text messages where Edwards allegedly wrote things like, "I'm sorry I kicked you in the face." Read that again. Not a disagreement. Not a heated argument. "I kicked you in the face." And he was still in her home, still wearing her ring, still calling himself her future husband. This is one of the most painful parts of domestic violence that people on the outside never fully understand. It is not always obvious. It does not always look like what you imagine. Sometimes it looks like a couple who just finished premarital counseling. Sometimes it looks like an engagement. Sometimes it looks perfectly fine, right up until it is not. Now, October 9th, 2023. That is the day everything fell apart. Amanda had been away on a work trip to Columbus. She came home that night. And by most accounts, something was already off between them. Edwards later said they had been arguing through text messages all day. He claimed she had suspended his phone service. She had not responded to one of his texts, and he accused her of lying about it. Small things, petty things. But in a relationship where control is already the undercurrent, nothing is ever really small. By the time Amanda got home, her daughter Tyler could hear arguing coming from a bedroom. Edwards would later testify that he thought things had calmed down from his end, but he also admitted Amanda was asking him to leave. She wanted him out of the house. That night, and rather than leave, he stayed. He later told the jury that Amanda's eyes were red and bloodshot, like she had a demon in her eyes. He said he held his Bible up to her chest, and she knocked it away. Whether that is true or not, think about what it tells you. This man is now using religious imagery to describe the woman he is about to shoot. That framing matters. Edwards admitted that at some point during the argument, he went to his nightstand and removed 2 of his own guns. He put them in his car. Now, his explanation for this kept changing throughout the investigation. In the back of a police cruiser, caught on camera without realizing how it sounded, he told an officer he moved the guns because he was worried he was about to use them on her. His exact words were, "What I was worried about is that I was about to use the guns." Then, in a formal police interview the very next day, he tried to walk that back. He said the reason was different, that Amanda had reached the drawer, that he was protecting them from her. But you already heard what he said in that cruiser, and so did the jury. He moved his guns to his car, and then he went back inside the house. He did not leave. Amanda was asking him to go, and he went outside, put the guns away, and came right back in. That decision, to go back inside, is a decision that ended Amanda Williams' life. According to Edwards, things escalated further. He claims Amanda eventually came upstairs carrying a knife. He pulled out his phone and started recording. And here is where it gets important, because those recordings exist. 3 cell phone videos from that night were played in court. In the first one, you can actually hear Edwards ask Amanda, "You're going to stab me?" And you can hear her respond, "I'm going to defend myself." That is her voice. Those are her words. She said she was defending herself. In that same video, the footage shows Amanda setting the knife down on a ledge in the hallway. She put it down, but Edwards testified that she must have gone back for it at some point, though he struggled to recall exactly when or how. The third video, the longest one, captures the sound of the actual gunshots. 6 shots, 8 wounds. Amanda was hit in her neck, her back, and her arm, with 1 shot fired from less than a foot away. The medical examiner testified that one of those wounds alone would have left her completely paralyzed from the neck down, meaning, even if she had been holding that knife at some point during the argument, by the time those bullets hit her body, she could not have been holding anything. She could not have been a threat. She could not have been lunging. She was already gone in every way that mattered before her heart stopped beating. And Edwards did not call for help. He did not try to save her. He stood in that room while Amanda's daughter Tyler came running up the stairs, desperate to get to her mother, and he blocked the doorway. He told Tyler to go downstairs and call for help, and when Tyler stepped outside to see if an ambulance had arrived, Edwards locked the door behind her, locked his dying fiancé inside, locked her own daughter out. Tyler Williams testified in court that she was not able to hold her mother, not able to be there in her final moments, not able to do anything, because he would not let her. That detail right there is not just heartbreaking. It is telling. Because if this was truly a man in shock, a man who just fired in self-defense and was overwhelmed by what happened, the instinct would be to get help as fast as possible, not to lock the door. Edwards eventually called 911 himself and told police he had just killed his fiancée. When officers arrived at the home on Sunset Drive in Warrensville Heights at around 11:40 that night, they found Amanda with multiple gunshot wounds. She was transported to Cleveland Clinic South Point Hospital, where she was pronounced dead. Edwards was detained. He was questioned, and then, because the prosecutor's office said there was insufficient evidence at that point, he was released. He walked out, and that is when Cleveland woke up. Amanda's family, her sorority sisters, her pastor, her community, they refused to let this go quiet. Pastor Vernon held a press conference at the Word Church. Delta Sigma Theta members marched to the Warrensville Heights Police Department and physically handed over photos and text messages documenting years of alleged abuse. Attorney Ian Friedman stood before cameras and said the evidence police originally had was not the full picture and that they were bringing all of it forward. The family had serious concerns about the transparency of the prosecutor's office, and they said so publicly, loudly, and without apology. It worked. On November 1st, 2023, a Cuyahoga County grand jury indicted Tirrell Edwards on 1 count of aggravated murder, 2 counts of murder, 2 counts of felonious assault, and 1 count of domestic violence. An arrest warrant was issued. Police tried to find him. They could not. And then on the morning of November 3rd, Edwards walked into the Warrensville Heights police station and turned himself in. The trial began in late February 2024, and it was 4 days of evidence testimony and a self-defense claim that the prosecution took apart piece by piece. The medical examiner dismantled his story through science. The trace evidence supervisor confirmed that no fibers from Edwards' torn shirts were found on the knife, and that Edwards himself had no injuries to his stomach despite claiming Amanda tried to stab him there. The DNA analyst confirmed that Amanda's DNA was on the knife, but Tirrell Edwards' DNA was not on the knife at all. And the wound locations, neck, back, arm, fired from inches away, told a story that did not match a man scrambling to survive. Then there was a moment in the interrogation video where prosecutors played back his own words, the part where he admitted on camera that he had moved those guns because he was afraid he was about to use them, and then tried to deny it the next day. The jury heard both versions. Edwards took the stand himself on day 4. He cried. He said he had no choice. He said she was coming at him. He said he was scared. He said he just shot rapidly. But the prosecutor pressed him on every inconsistency, replayed the cell phone videos, and asked him point by point to explain what the evidence showed versus what he claimed. On March 4th, 2024, the jury came back. Guilty of 2 counts of murder. Guilty of 2 counts of felonious assault. Guilty of domestic violence. The aggravated murder charge was the only one they did not convict on, meaning the jury stopped short of saying it was premeditated in the legal sense, but they had absolutely no doubt that he killed her, that it was intentional, and that it was not self-defense. A week later, Judge Stephen Gall sentenced Tirrell Edwards to life in prison with the first possibility of parole after 24 years. He stood before the court and said nothing. He did not apologize. He did not speak at all. Amanda's brother Joey Lewis told the judge that his family was hurting, that he could not look at his niece and nephew for too long without thinking about what they lost, that Edwards was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and that he could not forgive him. Amanda's son Tristan said his mother helped him choose the U.S. Air Force Academy, and that she would not be there to watch him graduate. Amanda's daughter Tyler said her own daughter, Amanda's grandchild, would grow up never knowing her grandmother. The 8th District Court of Appeals later unanimously upheld the conviction. It is done. He is not getting out anytime soon. But here is what I keep coming back to. Here is what I need you to sit with. Amanda's community brought that evidence to the police themselves. Her sorority sisters, her pastor, her attorney. They physically walked to the police department with photos of bruises and text messages. And yet Edwards had already been released. How many women are in relationships right now where the people around them can see what is happening, but not enough gets done fast enough? How many times does a community have to fight this hard just to get a charge filed? And think about this too. Edwards moved those guns to his car and then went back inside. He had a way out. He chose not to take it. What does that tell you about what he intended to do that night? And one more thing. Amanda's own voice is on that recording. I'm going to defend myself. She said those words. She was afraid. She knew something was wrong. So what does it mean that she is the one who ended up dead, and he is the one who got to walk out and tell the story first? Justice did come. Eventually. But Amanda deserved better than eventually. If this story moved you, please like this video, subscribe to Crime Files, and click that bell icon. Every single view, every share, every subscription tells the algorithm that these stories matter, that women like Amanda matter. Share this one, because somebody watching might need to hear it.